Every day in crypto is totally different. If the market pumps, everyone's euphoric and excited. But then when the markets dump, everyone loses their mind and is just depressed. Here's the thing though, and here's the secret, or what you should be aware of, is that short-term noise can easily get the most of your emotions. And when you make decisions, or when we make decisions based out of our emotions, it's very easy to miss the target. So the key to making it in the crypto industry has to do with conviction. It has to do with having a long-term view and game plan. So as the short-term volume and price action heats up, I just want you to remember that even if we end on a lower daily price, you need to zoom out and look at the big picture and realize that ultimately we have been going up only. So in today's video, my intention is just to help you understand the big picture, which is the most important and crucial thing you actually need for staying bullish and strong throughout this bull run and throughout your crypto career, I would even say. Because as of right now, everything is starting to line up for the biggest bull run alt season we have ever seen. But if you're not paying attention to the right signs or getting swallowed up in your emotions, you're gonna miss it. And stick around until the very end, where I'll just be giving you an update on a project I have previously shared that I'm very excited and bullish on. So without further ado, guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica. I'm so happy you're here. And without further ado, let us jump into today's show. Okay, so taking a quick look at Bitcoin, you'll see we're at $98,540 some worth of a Bitcoin. And we know that Bitcoin has been striving its way up to 100K. So we are sideways trending and starting to trend up. And all of this is happening in the strongest, most steady way. So we may very likely be seeing $100,000 Bitcoin throughout this weekend, and certainly very soon is all I'm going to say. And just here, let us take a few minutes to listen to what Michael Saylor has to say regarding if the US is going to have a Bitcoin reserve soon or not, or what is the deal. We know that it's been put forth by Cynthia Loomis. Multiple states have petitioned for their own Bitcoin reserves, and we know that they are the incubator in large part. They're like the incubator version of the US government. So whatever we see on a state level being passed or going on, that gives us a glimpse of what might end up being passed on a federal level. And we know that Michael Saylor has been strategic. He's been seen, and there's been rumors, and I think some of it has been blatantly, openly shared regarding Michael Saylor meeting with Trump and Trump's administration in helping form the Bitcoin reserve. So let's take a listen.
Of an instruction. Are we going to have a U.S. Bitcoin reserve? And when is that going to happen? The way to think about Bitcoin is it's the most powerful digital network in the world. It is cyber power. If you want to dominate the next 100 years, just like the last 100 years is based upon dominating sea power, fire power, air power, space power, nuclear power. You want to dominate cyberspace. You want cyber power. It's the unstoppable network that no one can corrupt. And the use of the unstoppable network, among other things, is hundreds of trillions of dollars of capital moving from point A to point B. But the other use of the network is I can send a message which is unstoppable, and I can store information that is unstoppable. And I can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt the authenticity of an instruction or a document. No country, no company, no individual, not 1 trillion computers can corrupt that message. So
that's right.
If you want to own the future, you want to own cyberspace. How do you own cyberspace? You own Bitcoin, and then you run the Bitcoin network. You mine Bitcoin, you own Bitcoin.
That's right. That's right. It's like when you get into any business, if you want to dominate it, you need to dominate all four fronts of it to make sure you're self-sustainable. So he didn't directly answer the question, but he indirectly
Are we going to have a U.S.
did.
Bitcoin?
Moving on, if we take a look at what's happening on a macro level regarding long-term Bitcoin holders and those selling, you would see, as shared here by Bitcoin Monger, that selling from long-term Bitcoin holders looks to be exhausted once again, or it's stopping. Price will have to go higher before we see more supply from them. So this is ultimately a good signal. Once again, it means we'll stop seeing selling from, we're starting to see them stop selling, and it speaks of a potential pump, which we know that because all the other pieces are coming into place, many of which we're going through in today's video and I've covered in past videos this week, which I'd encourage you to watch because they're not so long anymore, you would see that everything's lining up. And if we go on to read what James Van Stratton shares here on X, he says, since the halving back in April, on April 20th, which is 306 days ago, 137,700 Bitcoin mined. Not only that, but we've had MicroStrategy, whose ticker is Mr. They've acquired 264,340 Bitcoin. Amazing. The US ETFs have acquired a net basis. They have acquired 331,857 Bitcoin. Minor public company purchases. They have purchased 45,478 Bitcoin, and other companies in general have purchased 6,055 Bitcoin. Not only that, but we have short-term holder buy pressure, minus the ETFs, of course, Mr. and other public company purchases within 155 days. These short-term holders, they have purchased 194,571 Bitcoin. There have been 280,286 Bitcoin removed off exchanges, which is incredible. Long-term holder sell pressure has been 312,120 Bitcoin, and general minor balance sell pressure has been 13,061 Bitcoin. So on a net basis, there have been 449,491 Bitcoin, or 3.26 times the mined supply since halving. How unbelievable is that? So moving on, we have CryptoCon here sharing with us that unlike previous cycles, okay, because this cycle's turning out to be a little different, as they always are. So unlike previous cycles, almost all of the good price action in this one has been made in very short bursts. I'm sure you've noticed that too. It's been like not this ongoing flush of like altcoins raining, right? But it's been like burst, quiet, sideways trend, burst, quiet, sideways trending, a little bit of a dip, and then burst, right? So to demonstrate this, they go on to say, I've taken what Bitcoin would have looked like without any of the short expansion bursts, which is shown on the bottom, almost completely sideways the entire cycle. So even though we spent about 6 months of our 2+ years since the bull market expanding, only about a month of that included nearly all of the good price action. Wow. So you've spent about 96% of this cycle waiting on the other 4%, which includes all the big green candles. Only the patient survive to see the good stuff. So this is the chart he's talking about. Take a screenshot if you want to take a look at it more closely. And where we are is this green box over here, right? So we are very much so lined up and projected to be seeing another burst/run this time. Yeah, so that said, moving on to some other news. According to Eleanor Terrett, who we know is a journalist, producer, Fox Business, she goes on to say, she's sharing some news here with us. She says, according to a source that recently spoke with the SEC Gov, the agency is very, very interested in even asking industry for a memo detailing the different types of staking and their benefits. This source expects to see some kind of agency guidance on staking in the near future, as it's a topic they're engaging enthusiastically on. Last week, staffers from the Division of Trading and Markets took part in a staking webinar with some of the industry players, as I reported on Friday. Isn't this amazing? amazing. And this has to do with the CBOE's 19B/4 filing. If you want to go look more into it, go follow this gentleman on the right-hand side called Nate Geraci, and he's the president of ETF Stores and host of the ETF Prime show, which I haven't personally heard of, but he's sharing all this news. And Eleanor Terrett, of course, follow her too. She is one of our main sources of news as well. Moving on, the SEC launches a cyber and emerging technologies unit. How amazing is this? The SEC cyber unit will combat fraud in crypto, among other areas, which is good. There needs to be like a subdivision that's focused on this, not the whole SEC. Right? As we've seen in the past. So this is great. Now it's going to come down to who they put in position, who they recruit. Hopefully Doge and Elon have something to do with making sure that they're efficient. But this is altogether good news because it means they're going to take a look at it, but there's a specialized department for this, which we know we need in the crypto space. Like, I agree with the decentralized ethos of the space. Of course I do. It's what I love the most. But it is the wild, wild west, and there are a lot of people who get hurt. So as long as they can properly identify scammers and understand crypto and terms and, you know, what are decentralized protocols and what are not, and as long as they have proper, what do you call it? Forensics, blockchain forensics to properly track people, then this could be a really good thing for the crypto space and calming down some scams, right? Or at least punishing the ones that deserve it. Anyway, moving on, we have some more news from Eleanor Terrett. She shares that there has been more bipartisan support for Senator Haggerty's stablecoin bill called the Genius Act. I covered this last week, I think. And so she goes on to say, Maryland Senator Angela Brooks has just signed on to co-sponsor the bill, making her the first banking GOP Democrat to join. This is great. So we're starting to see bipartisan, participation. And this Senator Angela Brooks is the first one to come to the table and decide to work things out with the Republican side. I think, frankly, this whole two-party thing is kind of crazy and antiquated, but, there's even tribalism in crypto. So I guess it shouldn't be too shocking to see that there is, traditional world, I call it Web 2, tribalism as well. So anyway, this is a really good thing. And on this note of stablecoins, Miles Deutscher shares a really interesting chart and tweet with us saying that, and pointing out the fact that right now, the stablecoin market cap continues to push to new highs despite crypto prices being down this year. So what does this say? Stablecoins are a source of dry powder. I've covered this before in my shows. This has to do in large part even with how things unfold towards an altcoin season. Value flows right from Bitcoin over to Ethereum, then to large cap. And there's always, and then from there, like all of the lower cap, some meme coins, even though meme coins ran this bull run, they were like a side market. I believe they're like their own sector now in many ways. But there's always been a correlation, right? That's why we cover sometimes when USDT is printing, which is kind of funny, right? That they can do this, but it's always a signal that they do because they do it in response to demand in the market. And it's always a signal of how much value is going to potentially or very likely flow into altcoin. So the simple fact right now, as Miles is saying, that the stablecoin market cap continues to push higher is a signal of value that is very likely to roll into other altcoins. So that's quite good news. That's one of the macro points I wanted to share with you. Moving on, by Ki Young Ju on X, he goes out and just straight out says it. Alt season has begun. There is no direct BTC to altcoin rotation. I had been saying this in my own words that I thought that this bull run was going to play out a little differently, and that certain indicators from the past may not apply to this bull run. And so he says it as well. He says, but stable coin holders are favoring alt volume is 2.7 times that of Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance no longer defines alt season. Trading volume does. He goes on to say, it's a very selective alt season though. Do your own research. I agree. And I've seen this, and maybe you've noticed too, it's not all things fly, right? Although very likely all things will fly to some extent, but we're seeing a mix. This bull run, this altcoin season, and those that make up retail or make up everyone in the crypto market, they're a mixed bag of people. You have those that are very, very educated from last bull runs, or at least one bull run before, where they're bringing in that know-how. Then you have, the typical cabals. Then you have institutional money, big money coming in. We know that the Trump family keeps scooping up a bunch of Ethereum on the regular. So we have not seen a bull run like this bull run. And then we have a lot of new people, many of which have left, have not come back yet, but they will be coming back. So this bull run is different, right? In the past, everyone was more like much more so on the same level, except for the whales. But this time we have like real old and big money, and we have so much friendly crypto regulation, talk of a Bitcoin reserve, talk of, now the NASDAQ, as I mentioned in yesterday's show, is going to be allowing certain crypto tokens to be traded publicly on the NASDAQ. That's going to transform things. We have so many different factors at play this bull run that will make it very different. So I really couldn't agree more with what Ki Young-ju shares here. It's a glimpse of what we can expect this bull run. Okay, so now jumping into the project I wanted to share some updates with you on. I do wish, and I will say it, I will always be honest with you, that from my understanding, the updates I've received, and we're going to go through them here in a second, they seem to be far more focused on building, which is great, but they haven't been sharing so many updates with the community. So hopefully they do soon. As of now, there are some updates I can share with you though. If we go to their website, this is to visualize what the brain looks like. There's their brain interface, I guess you could say. And just as a quick recap of what BASEDAI is, it's an agentic or agent, right? Blockchain that's going to write some software at an unbelievable pace. Think 10,000 ideas every hour, then hundreds of potential Git branches, first by day, then hour, then a minute. Like a block explorer, BASEDAI will need a project or idea explorer. Thousands of timely projects and potential features will be streamed every hour. BASEDAI is whatever BASEDAI decides collectively it wants to be. So this is incredible. And you can see here that they are currently sharing so many different project ideas virtually, I want to say by the minutes. And you can go check them out by going to Creature on Based. So it is quite interesting. So we're starting to see a glimpse of it at work. That's basically what we're seeing here. So if you go follow them, you would see what this looks like. So it's a glimpse once again. But as you will see, and we've all noticed, I'm sure you've noticed if you've been holding BASEDAI, price is way down. But keep in mind the whole market is virtually down, but it is a super hot sector. And I am still, if you ask me if I am still a believer, yes, I am. Although I would love to be able to help the BASEDAI's team with some more marketing. BASEDAI's team, if you're seeing this, then let me know. You can DM me on X, but I do think that getting the word out more to the community would be fantastic, because we could be building things in the shadows that are great, but if people don't know about it, then they don't know about it and it's not as valuable as it could be. So in any case, I still love BASEDAI. I'm still a believer in BASEDAI. And as I showed a moment ago, you can go check out what it's producing on the within minutes. They're starting to share that on their X account. So that's a wrap for today's show. I hope you have a sense of where we are in the market and know that in the big picture, we're moving up. I hope you're excited. Bitcoin's starting to break out. Hopefully we'll be moving past 100K very, very soon. And I can't wait to see more updates from BASEDAI. And in the meantime, keep your eyes peeled for decentralized finance AI projects. I've shared many of them on my channel. Let me know if you have questions or, want to know which ones these are. Although I'd encourage you to go watch my videos. And that's it for this week, guys. Happy Friday, and I'll catch you guys here on Monday. Take care.